This Alternative Addiction interview exclusive is brought to you by Full Sail University.
Launch your dreams today.
Log on to fullsail.edu. Alternative Addiction interview exclusive.
The album finally came out. Are you pretty stoked on that?
Yeah, man, it's freaking awesome. It's about time, huh?
Right? We've been waiting like a couple years, it seems like.
It feels like a century to me, but yeah, it's been quite some time now. And then it's been a big week. That's dropped, yesterday. And then now we're our merch store's finally up. Our online merchandise store is up. So it's been crazy, and our actual website should be up today. So our new website. So. It's been a wild, and between that and rehearsals for our CD release show this weekend, it's been fun and chaotic.
It's been fun and chaotic.
Yeah, it's like organized chaos.
Well, I do love the album. It is really good. You guys did a good job on that.
Thanks.
Cool.
Yeah, it's I think it's got a better balance. I don't know if you heard the last one. I don't know if you got that or not, but yeah, compared to what we were going to put out with Universal, I feel like this one's way more balanced, where it's almost like you can just set it and forget it, just put it on one and go through the whole record. So
yeah,
that's the way it seems. I think we kind of the blend of more or less like pop rock songs compared to actual rock, like active rock songs. It's a good balance.
Cool. Yeah, I liked Circles a lot, and I liked The Inside a lot too.
Cool, yeah. Yeah, we're excited about The Inside. That's it's one of the shortest songs. It's only like, I think, 2:31, but it's just crazy the whole time we're playing it. It's fun. It's kind of got like a dance vibe to it too, I guess you could say.
Evidently, I'm up for the dance vibe.
Yeah, and then what was cool about that is when we were in studio, I was like, man, I like Michael Bublé and or Frank Sinatra stuff, and some of that old school stuff. And man, I just got to thinking, I was like, man, what happens if we put some snaps? And we put some snaps in at that breakdown, and it kind of had that feel like that. So that was a pretty cool moment of the song. That's probably my favorite moment out of all the songs.
Cool. Yeah, I did like that. How do you record snaps?
Just in the vocal booth, just getting in there and just doing it a couple times, and then overlaying a couple of them. It makes it sound a little bit bigger, So, but yeah, that's how we did it. Just kind of snap right into the mic. Yeah, it's weird though. Because you can I guess slam them. So if you're doing two fingers, you got to make sure like two hands. You got to make sure you do it pretty close on time, or it sounds funny. But yeah, that was pretty simple. But it was fun.
Cool. So, did you feel like a douchebag snapping in the vocal booth?
A little bit. You're laughing the whole time. And that was definitely a character moment. So, but we had fun with it though. But yeah, it was just throwback. It was just kind of cool, and I haven't heard that in a rock song. I don't think ever. And I was like, man, let's just put that in there. And it seemed to work out. So, quite pleased with it.
Yeah, it did work out. Is there any other things that you guys kind of threw in there as kind of like, I don't know, a unique thing for you and maybe for other bands?
Well, I don't know about for other bands, but we did, for the first time, Lost in You. It's got mandolin, and actually Jesse had never picked up a mandolin and played it before, and until that day that we recorded, and he just was messing with it and laid it down real quick, just found something to play. And but Mambo is probably the newest thing to one of our songs. We've never had that in it. But there's plenty. It's more of a Lost in You is more of a Goo Goo Doll style. So it's not new to that, because I think Goo Goo Dolls does that quite a bit. But yeah, that was probably the snaps, and then the mandolin and Lost in You were very outside the box, I guess, for us. Like a little, just thinking, just quite a bit different, which is especially coming with songs like these. I think that's a good thing to do. Kind of just think a little bit outside the box in terms, because then it can just be so repetitious, sounding like everything else, if you don't.
Absolutely. Yeah. Recording with John and stuff. How is that with the album?
This is, I guess, the first album with him. So, well, technically, it's, I guess, our second, but with him, it seems like we pretty much got a method of madness, because it's a good formula for us. We usually finish stuff out in probably 3 months with everything. Now, that's not the writing process, but the recording and all that stuff right there is just probably about 3 months. But it's always fun doing it, just recording with him. I can't remember a dull moment. We have our back and forth, who doesn't? But it's pretty it's smooth flowing most of the time, majority of the time. We have the way we scale it down is just first thing we do is scratches for all the songs, and then we lay down the drums, and you lay down the bass, and we go to rhythm guitars and lead guitars, and then we do vocals, and then keys and icing and all that kind of stuff last. So, we definitely have a process of it now, finally.
Well, that's cool. And what are his talents? What are his strengths that kind of help you guys out in the studio?
Well, for especially when because John is primarily my main writing partner, and he definitely helps out and how we structure some of the things. Me and him are eye to eye on the formula of structuring songs, and that's probably the best thing that we all work together well with John, is because that we all are on the same page when it comes to how to structure a song, and where to trim fat, and what's not needed, and all those kinds of things. And he has a really good vision of, in certain circumstances, to hone me back in on certain things that I necessarily kind of like lose track of when we're doing stuff. And John just has a good ear for that stuff. He just has an excellent ear. He's not. I'm hoping. It seems like he's starting to get a little bit more known, and he should be, especially in the pop rock world. He's spot on with some of that stuff. I mean, it's I can't call anybody a genius, but he's pretty damn good at it.
And for Nashville, that's a good place to record. So,
absolutely.
All right. Well, the big CD release show. You stoked on that?
Oh yeah. We're Fools for Rowan. Those guys are headlining that show, but we're really good friends with those guys. I think Halo Stereo is playing at it, and we're just super excited about it. It's a 40-minute set for us. We got a few little sneak surprises in it that we're waiting to save for the show, and it's just a lot of energy now, and that's what we're trying to get our cardio up so we can keep this thing going right, so it looks I guess presentable or entertaining. But it's just a lot of energy now in our shows, and probably the downest parts of our shows now is going to be Missing You and Best Time, and those I think those songs are still great. Those are the pop rock songs. So I feel like if those are the slowest songs that we have, then I don't or the least amount of energy that you can see us on stage with those shows. I think we're sitting okay. It's a nice little break. I'm going 100 miles an hour, 40 minutes.
Right. It's nice to go 20 for maybe 4.
Oh yeah. So
make sure you don't hit any old people in the crosswalks.
Yeah. Well, we shot that video, and which John actually he directed that and filmed it and everything. John King as well. So. We shot that video right outside of Atlanta, and I can't tell you how many takes we did, but it was just like that. I mean, you had to stand back away from this because you might get kind of hit by one of the guitars. Everybody was just flailing everywhere. So that's kind of what you got to do to make it translate to film right. So.
Absolutely. All right, man. Do you guys have any plans for touring in the new year yet?
Yeah, a little bit, and I'm waiting to find out, hopefully within these next few weeks, what's going to happen in January and then into March. And I can't say anything because I don't want to jinx it. I don't know for a fact, but it's with right now we're waiting to hear back from one of the older rock bands that was big in the late '90s and stuff like that. And so hopefully we'll be on the road in January. We're keeping our fingers crossed. That is the plan. So if not, if that falls through, we're definitely going to make a trip sometime at the end of January out towards Arizona and hit like Louisiana, Texas, Arizona, Oklahoma, and then come back, and just a few other places. So we are going to be touring this year, whether it's as a tag along or just basically one-offs and all that stuff. So a couple festivals. We got already a festival booked in June up in Michigan. So yeah, we'll definitely the touring will be happening. Whether it's January or by March, we'll be on the road again. So.
All right, man. Well, it's not an easy thing to do, but if you don't mind sleeping in a smelly van with a bunch of dudes, you can get away with it.
Absolutely. And we're kind of blessed with the bus that we have. It's a shuttle bus. It's got bunks and stuff like that. But I think baby wipes comes in handy. So as long as you got baby wipes, it's pretty good. But I think it may come to the point that we just you can always tell when you get on the bus. I'm for an outsider, I'm sure. Like, God, this bus is just awful, but we're probably around each other thinking we smell great, and because we all just stink, and when everybody smells the same, you don't really tell. But yeah, it's we're kind of blessed though to have the bus that we have, and kind of it's a luxury for us to have bunks, and one thing we don't have on it is a toilet, so we do have to stop. But yeah, that's it's the most fun that we've ever had is when we're out on the road, and there's nothing like it. It's almost like a drug.